I finally listened to the person I had been ignoring. 4 weeks ago, I thought this journey was about losing 10 pounds. But somewhere along the way, I realized it wasn't really about the weight at all, although that was one of the goals. It was about something much deeper. It was about finally giving myself permission to become a priority. Hi, guys. So this is what I realized in this 4 weeks. And if you've been following me, you know this was my mid-year mind and body reset that I needed, for various reasons. But one of the things that I actually realized is that during this time is that this was therapy for me. It was like this was me, the therapist, the doctor, sitting with me, the patient, right? And telling myself that I needed to prioritize me and prioritize what I needed to do to be the best me. So that when I showed up in any situation, okay, I'm well equipped, physically and emotionally and spiritually, to be able to handle anything that came my way. And that's not the place that I was in before I started this reset. And I started it because of all the things that were going on. And I knew, I have been living my life 60 plus years. So I knew me and I knew how I felt and, again, physically and emotionally. And I knew it was time to pause and step back and to do something different and, give myself grace. I knew that. And I also, knew that when I looked at myself, that physically I was not in the space that I wanted to be. So that's why I set that goal as far as losing 10 pounds. And in this whole process, I realized that it was just so much more than that. I needed to create the environment, the environment that was conducive, once again, of me being the best version of Deborah that I possibly could be. And so at the end of this 4 weeks, and I didn't know what I was going to say to you, in the week 4, I didn't know. And so when I got up, matter of fact, I put all this together this morning. And when I got up and I said to myself, okay, what am I going to share with my audience at the end of this week 4 journey? And then I became very introspective. And then I realized it was just very, very clear. And that's another thing, that I feel like I accomplished in this 4-week journey is the clarity of everything. And it was very clear, what I needed to share with you all and, let you know it wasn't necessarily all about, the weight loss, although that was a goal. It was about, again, being the best version of me in the different categories that I set forth at the very beginning. And I put this here, guys, just so you'll know, I'll be sharing with you one of my go-to high protein recipes. Another one, quick, easy, simple, delicious. So I'll be sharing that with you before I close out this video. So that's why I have all of this here. So one of the first things that I think all of us need to do if we're doing any type of reset, whether it be, losing weight, which is, again, one of the things that I set out to do. Even losing weight, guys, one of the things that we need to do is to nourish our mind. Okay. Because again, there is power in our thoughts. Our thoughts become action. So one of the things that we need to do is to nourish our mind. And what I mean by that is to create an environment, mentally, that we can actually thrive and flourish in. Disconnecting ourselves from toxic environments. The best possible way that we can. And some of the things I mentioned before that we can do that is, prayer and meditation and, going for quiet walks or sitting quietly, with no background noise, whether it be the TV or the internet or music, just sitting quietly in a space, okay, where you can really actually, be introspective and, think about, you. Okay, without being distracted by any of the external things. Understanding what your boundaries are, understanding what your triggers are, that is a part of nourishing your mind, creating a space where you give yourself peace, even in the midst of what can be chaotic in your life, which for me, I shared with you, once again, if you've been following me, is my job, okay? My job went scorched earth on me and it's just blew up just all of a sudden. And just trying to find the proper balance so that you can create a space of peace again, even though all of those things are going on, and finding again, the correct balance, boundaries, so that those things don't become toxic and infiltrate, okay, and become precedents over your life, because that's not what life is meant to be. And all those things, okay, I know I have to go outside home and do what I need to do, but then when I come home, I should be able to shut that door on that stuff. And that was not happening. So that is number one, you guys, before you do anything else, okay, is to nourish your mind. The second thing that I needed to do, and I am now doing, I'm so happy to report, is to nourish our body, giving it the proper things that it needs. All right. Our body, and I am, again, a fervent believer in the fact that our body knows what it needs. It's just that we, somewhere along the way in this journey called life, have forgotten what it needs. And it needs things at different phases of our lives. And it's just us, again, pausing and understanding what phase of life that we're in, and understanding what it is that our body needs, okay, in this particular phase. And that's one of the things that I learned, okay, during this reset is, again, pause, okay, listening to my body, understanding what it was feeling like and what, it felt like it was lacking. And, in some of my studies, okay, I realized, which I didn't know at one point, that it needs protein, it needs the nutrients, it needs, the leafy greens, it needs all of those things, especially as we age, again, our body knows what it needs, but as time goes on, I feel like our bodies don't function as efficiently as it used to at one point in our earlier years, okay? But it still can function effectively just as long as we listen to it and then give it what it needs and supplement in the areas that is no longer as efficient in doing as it once was, okay? So again, the protein, the leafy greens, the fiber, those types of things, keeping ourselves hydrated. And, to give you a point of comparison, you think of it along these terms. Let's say the gas, okay, in your car. You know what the gas does in the car, okay? It propels it. It makes it function. It makes it go, okay? It's the energy for that vehicle, unless, of course, it's an electric vehicle. That's another topic, you guys. Just go with me here. But let's say the gasoline, okay, in your vehicle. That's what it is designed to do, okay? And just imagine if instead of gasoline, okay, in that gas tank, we put water in it. Just imagine that, all right? We are going to destroy the ability of that car to move and do what it is designed to do, right? Well, it's the same thing with our bodies, okay? If we give our bodies, or don't give our bodies for that matter, what it needs to energize it, okay, so that it can function and move and, everything that it was designed to do, then it's going to do the complete opposite of what it was designed to do, because we're not fueling it with the correct things that it needs. So critical, so important, to stop, to pause, and really understand your body and listen to it and just feel, what it feels like to be sluggish versus energized. And we know, okay, what that feels like. But sometimes we don't take the time to pause and just realize where we are. So pause, realize where we are. And every time we fuel our body with something, okay, take the time to feel what our body feels like. Does it feel good? Does it feel energized? Does it feel like it's ready to go? Does it feel sluggish? Does it feel like sick? That type of thing. So take the time to do exactly that. And the next thing that we need to do is to move our body. Okay, ask yourselves, are we moving our body enough throughout the course of the day? And let's go back to my car analogy. Let's say that, we wash and we polish our car and we give it the gasoline that it needs, so we're fueling it properly. But then we don't start it. You just let it sit there and we don't start it and we don't drive it. And eventually what's going to happen is, that oil in that gasoline is going to become stagnant and it's going to corrode the parts, and then the polish on it is going to become dull. Okay, because we're not doing with that car what it was designed to do. Well, our bodies are the same way. Let's say we bathe it and we put the lotions on it and it's, looking all polished and pretty and the skin is glowing and then we fuel it with what we're supposed to fuel it with. And then after we do all of that, you guys, what do? We get under covers, just turn off the lights and we just lay there idle, doing nothing. Our bodies are meant, okay, not only to be energized, but to be used, to move, so that we are giving our muscles what it needs by our activity, our bones giving it what it needs through our motion, giving our heart and our circulation systems what it needs, okay, by our walking and our aerobic and our cardio exercises, our strength training, all of those things we need to do to make sure that we are using the fuel that we have given our body so it just doesn't sit there and is stored as fat. Okay, but then it goes to the different systems in our system, our muscles and our bones and our heart and all those things, so that we can optimize our bodies so that they function in the most effective and efficient ways that they were designed to do. So that's another thing. Stop, pause, and ask yourself, are we moving our bodies? Not necessarily so that they could be Sports Illustrated ready, okay, but that we are aging healthily, if that is a word. But it's so important, you guys. So my final thoughts to me, the patient coming from the therapist, was not so much about becoming a different person. It wasn't about that when I, got to the end of this journey and, again, and becoming very introspective about the whole thing. It was more so about becoming the person, okay, the woman that I deserve to be, that I had lost sight of, So if you have been following me throughout this journey, okay, that is, I think, the place that we all need to start, okay, is who is the person that I really need to be, deserve to be, so that when I am in any situation, I can show up being the best version of me possible. So that is exactly what I learned in this 4 week. And again, you guys, when I came into this this video, I didn't really know, what I was going to share with you, because sometimes we start things and we start off on one path. And then when we go through it, we realize it's like, again, an aha moment. We realize it's like, wow, it's an epiphany. It's like, yeah, it's bigger. It's bigger than what we thought it was going to be. And those are my thoughts, you guys. And again, I think that sometimes when we get to the end of something, then that's what we need to take to the beginning of something. All right. Okay, very good. So let me go ahead and show you another quick, easy recipe, high protein recipe that I like to do again, because I am in when it comes to my nourishment and my protein, you guys. And before I forget, share with you, okay, where I started and where I am now as far as my weight loss. I am so super proud of me, okay, but take a look. All right, guys. I truly believe the reason why a lot of that happened is because, again, emotionally, I realized where I was and where I needed to be. So once I put myself in a relaxed state and frame of mind, my body relaxed and my body started to get back into the rhythm, okay, of what it needed to do so that I could achieve that weight loss. And you know what? I'm plugged in. I am plugged in. So, now that I see where I am, I'm going to keep going, see if I can shed a few more. But let you know, I am thrilled, okay, with what I have accomplished. All right, so you guys. So my one of my high protein recipes, again, simple, easy, so delicious, nourishing, all that good stuff, checks all the boxes. Let's do one more. Strawberry is a Greek yogurt fruit cup. All right, that looks good. Put this aside. I've got my vanilla flavor, 0 carb protein here. I've got my yogurt. I've got some ground up chia seeds, and I've got some blueberries. All right, so let's go ahead and put this in my 8-ounce container. Put this here so it doesn't slide. So we've got my yogurt. Oh, you guys, I need a bigger spoon. Be right back. Okay. So go ahead and put my yogurt in here. Some protein powder. Of course, if you want it a little bit sweeter, put in your sweetener of choice. I'm going to put in my ground chia seed. This is going to give me some extra fiber and some more protein. Okay, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and stir this. Just give myself a little room to mix this since we got the protein powder here, and then I'll add some more yogurt. And the reason why I grind up the chia seed, because as you know, when you combine it with the liquid, it takes a little while for the liquid to absorb, chia seeds and soft them, stuff like that. So if you grind it, okay, it absorbs a lot quicker. So that's why I do that, just in case you're wondering, it's like, why did Deborah go through the trouble of grinding up those seeds? So I grind it up, keep in this little container. So once again, if I make little recipes like this will be ready. Okay, a little bit more. Let's mix this. And if I do this for a to-go recipe, what I'll do a lot of times is, instead of the fresh berries, what I'll do is I will use some of the frozen berries, okay? I will top that with the frozen berries. I put the lid on it, put it in the refrigerator. And then what'll happen is, next day when I'm ready to go to the fridge, take it out, put it in my to-go bag, and I am set. All right, so my little strawberries here. And some blueberries. Stuff it all in there. You guys, and there you have it. Doesn't that look yummy? I know, and it tastes really, really good too. And again, if you want some sweetener on it, just put the sweetener of choice on it. Sometimes what I'll do too, I've got some sugar-free maple syrup. What I'll do is I'll sprinkle, you know what? Let me go get some. Because this tastes good too. So I'll take a little of this and sprinkle that on top. Guys, treat yourself good. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Treating yourself good. We show up for other people and we give other people our best. It's time for us to give ourselves our best. All right, you guys. So that is my 4-week recap, mindset, body reset. And again, if you have, just now joining me, I hope that I was able to give you some really, really helpful tips so that if you're just starting this journey, okay, you can put these tips in your pocket, all right? And right, what you need to do to start this journey so you will be successful as well. And for those of you that have been with me the entire time, we want to hear from you. Tell me, okay, what it is that you set out to accomplish at the very beginning. And then let us know after this 4-week, okay, what you accomplished and what your aha moment was. You guys, I want to hear. I want to know. This community wants to know because, again, sharing is caring. All right, you guys. So once again, if you're just joining me for the first time, this channel is all about healthy aging, being our best selves, okay, through what we eat, how we move our bodies, okay? So check out my playlist. I've got recipes, I've got workout videos, I've got vlogs such as this. I'm trying to cover it all because, again, I have realized that being 60 plus years of age, I'm definitely in it to make this chapter of my life, the best chapter of my life, right? So I want to share these thoughts with you, and I want you to share yours with me. So remember, you guys, turn on that notification so you don't miss out on anything that I bring you here on the channel. If you're not yet subscribed and you love the way it feels to be here, part of this community, make sure you hit the subscribe button below and share my channel with those that you feel will benefit from it. All right, you guys, remember, it is a great day and you continue to make it your own kind of special. And I will see you all right here real soon in my next video, and enjoy. So good, you guys. Oh my gosh. Okay, see you soon.